January 6th probe moving to prime time as the House committee investigating the attack is set to hold a televised public hearing tonight. Our friend Niall Stange, White House columnist for The Hill, writing an article on some of these big questions. I think I'm tongue-tied because the fact that this is happening, it feels unprecedented. Whether you are going to be glued to your screen or whether you think the country should move on, what a move by this House committee to hire a former TV network president to make this compelling enough for people to pay attention. What are we looking for tonight in terms of the first witnesses in this hearing?
I mean, in terms of the TV executive part, I just think the Democrats and the two Republicans in the committee think it's as important to make as compelling a case as possible. As for what we're looking for, it really boils down to one thing, Adrienne. What is new here, and is the new part connected either to former President Trump or to specific members of the Republican Party? The committee has a sort of an ironic challenge in that so much is already known about January the 6th. So much occurred in plain sight. The former president was impeached just 1 week after it. So now the question is, what has this committee uncovered, having worked for approximately a year, subpoenaed various people, made an enormous number of inquiries? What have you got?
Well, why need to capture the nation's attention in this way if the facts are so plain and speak for themselves?
I mean, I think that is what happens in politics, like that's what happens in other walks of life or other forms of business. I mean, that's why you want the best attorney to represent you in a courtroom, or if I write an article, I want to put the most compelling headline on it, right? The facts are one thing, but you want a compelling presentation of the facts because you want to make the strongest case you can. I don't really honestly see the involvement of a TV executive as a nefarious or even particularly problematic thing.
Well, I think some people might think that it starts to move into this gray zone with how much of a responsibility a committee like this would have to not embellish or not try to execute something with a little more glitter. But let's talk about former Vice President Mike Pence attending. He will not be actually attending the hearing, but he's a key figure. Why?
Because he is so central to everything that happened. First of all, you had the chance of hang Mike Pence, which were some of the most dramatic moments. But he was also coming under enormous pressure to not count the electoral votes on January the 6th. The then vice president resisted that pressure. The certification went through of Joe Biden as president, or I guess president-elect of the United States at that point. And so that was the pivotal moment. Now, one of the reasons that Pence is so important now is he has not himself testified, but it is expected that aides to him will testify. The other more abstract but important question is whether in the future there's going to be a legislative change to make it more clear what a vice president can and cannot do in exactly this kind of circumstance.
It's coming up. This is bringing so many different questions to light, so many different scenarios that we've never been in before. Niall Stange, always good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.